Well, this is a yes and no answer because yes, because if you look at the objectives of the AU critically, you realize that some of the objectives have been achieved. To begin with, the issue of eradication of colonialism among member states. And as I speak now, unless somebody has found any other member states under colonial rule, most of these member states are independent states. So to that extent, I would say that that purpose for which it was created had been achieved. We also have economic and political unity among member states. Now you have these member states moving goods from one country to another with lower tariffs and taxes. You also have some political collaboration among member states. Well, to some extent, based on these objectives, I would say that the reason for which the AU was formed had been achieved. But no, because of the numerous political instability we are having across states, and that is sometimes making the formation of the AU questionable. As I speak now, Somalia is a failed state. As I speak now, Mali is not having peace. As I speak now, Cote d'Ivoire, and most of these member states are having political crisis. Most of these leaders that are elected in these member states lack credibility and legitimacy. And sometimes you ask whether are we geared towards promoting democracy in Africa. If you look at all that is happening, sometimes you may be tempted to say we have failed to some extent. But well, there's still light at the end of the tunnel. Will you say that because you've not achieved most of your aims and objectives in life, you will not celebrate your birthday? You still fight on and move it. So let's continue. To a very large extent, I don't think achieving a corruption-free environment is attainable. It's not attainable because the issue of corruption is more of a human nature, and as far as we are humans, we'll still have some of these weaknesses. But what we can do about it is the degree or the scale at which it is done. And over the years, we've had several policies, education about the deleterious effects of corruption. I think it's now time for a drastic solution where people are punished, properties of corrupt individuals are seized, and they are named and shamed. That is when maybe the awareness will reach its significance. But to achieve a corruption-free environment, I think, and pardon me with that, it's not so possible here on earth. But if we can invent some drastic measures which will actually deter people, then we can get closer to that level of significance. Well, if I take a very critical perusal at the several policies and strategies that have been created to fight corruption, I can't see any, because one of the variables is missing, and the issue is about the will, the political will. Are African political leaders and citizens ready to make sure corruption is out of their states? From where I sit, I don't think we are ready. We are willing to let corruption go from all that is happening. Ghana has outlined several strategies. I think with the current government, the continent itself is having several strategies, but they are all not working because we, the people, we are not willing, and I'm included, and everybody, we are not willing to let this particular weakness go away. At the moment, when we realize that it is evil and we let it go, we'll be able to curb corruption, at least to some level. Well, I think that the growth and development of every country relies on the youth. What I would suggest that we, the youth, play more activism. And when I say activism, I'm talking more about the issue about letting the public know the corrupt practices in the private and public sectors, and making the government officials or the institutions aware of what is happening there. With this, I think we'll go far. We have appointed leaders, all right, but sometimes they do not really know what is happening, and then we, the citizens, we sit aloof and watch some of these things going on. So I think we can play a major role by, creating pages on the social media, letting the public know this is what is going on, this is the effect it's having. If we play more activism, I think we are going to really intensify the effort of curbing corruption to some extent in this country. Yes, to some extent, because no man is an island unto of itself. We are all piece of the continent, part of the main. So it is very important how our leaders can blend this issue of globalization? Well, we have to still advocate for the patronization of locally manufactured goods to improve our infant industries, all right? And we can do this through, I mean, it's in the literature, reduction of tax incentives and etc. We can do most of these things, but we shouldn't try to isolate ourselves too much from this globalization process, because you saw the experience of China when it was a closed economy, and now that it's an open economy, the boom they are having. So it's very important for us to see how to draw that thin line between promoting our locally manufactured goods and also trying to side more with the open market. That I think can help us. But it's good we promote our own goods. It's going to help our industry, but we shouldn't forget the fact that we are part of an open economy.
Change the word globalization to Africanization. Yeah, and I was trying to recall what Walter Bleger said some time ago, that the missing link in our democracy in Africa now is culture. Look around, look at the architecture around your school over there. It's all culture. We should still go for our cultural goods. Things we wear, things we eat, how we walk, how we talk, should connote that we are Africans. So I think I will say yesterday, I will say today, tomorrow too I will say it.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm visiting Ghana from Duke University, and I definitely think people should buy African products so African businesses can grow.
My name is Mason. I'm from the States. I've been here in Accra for like 2 weeks now, just about, and I think it's probably for the best. If you support African-made products and if other Africans, support private industry here on the continent.